Throughout the course, I've talked about the process. What I want to cover now is the hacking process, and more importantly, the actual scanning methodology. So when you do hacking, you have information gathering. You do like public records, information from public resources. Some of you might have heard of Shodan. You can use the Shodan website, those types of things. But what I want to talk to you about is the actual engagement of the targets. And that's why I tell everybody that in 25 years, the process hasn't changed. What has changed is the targets and the tools we have available. The first step in our scanning methodology is to discover these live systems. And we do it within map with the dash, lowercase s for scan, uppercase P option. Now, if you use ZenMap or another tool, it will actually dash lowercase s and a lowercase n. That's the newer way of doing it. But this way, the dash lowercase s uppercase p works across all versions, just not the new ones. So I kind of prefer that. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to run this scan, and we're going to observe it in Wireshark. I'm in my Windows prompt now. I just do nmap, and I do dash lowercase s uppercase p, and I put in my subnet, which in this case is 192.168.177.0/24. So that's going to go out and look for any live systems on this subnet. And in Wireshark, we'll see that what it's actually doing is address resolution protocol. So it's actually using ARP, and it's using ARP because I'm on the same subnet. If I was going across an actual router or some type of filter device that was a different subnet, then it would use ICMP. And a lot of times ICMP is blocked, so we have to do what's called a TCP ping. So we'll look at this now in Wireshark. One of the first things I want to point out to you is two of these IP addresses, the 192.168.177.1 and the 192.168.177.254. Those are the virtual switch from VMware of the targets that I've got set up. And the 200, the 192.168.177.200 and the 192.168.177.210 are my targets. And that's what we want to do here is we want to identify what our targets are, live systems, because no hacker in the world can hack something if it's off. If it's off, I can't attack it. All right. So now that I know this, I'm going to look at it in Wireshark and then go look at our next step in the process. Let's do that now. So here we are in Wireshark, and a couple ways I can do it. I can filter, or I can scroll down and look for the scan. And there's the scan. And you see it right there. So it's telling me who has, tell me. And he literally, Wireshark does, reports all the ARP broadcasts. So the actual nmap tool is sending out to broadcast and looking for responses. And it keeps going out until it gets responses. So as we go down here, we see who has, and that's literally what's taking place at the packet level. So if we want to, we can expand the ARP here and look at the information and see exactly what it is. And the opcode is a request. That opcode being a request tells us that that's an ARP request, right? All right, so now what we're looking for is the responses. You see, we've only got the 2 live targets, so a lot of these responses are just requests going out, but there is a reply. So remember the opcode before was a request? As we're seeing there in the Wireshark trace, the opcode's a reply. So now that we have the ARP that went out and came back, we have the 200 as a target, and our other target was 210. And there's 210. So that's our 2 targets. So that's what happens with nmap. So now when your hacker is going against your network, if they're doing the live system step of their process, when they do that live system step of their process, that means they're going up and they're looking for their actual, yeah, exactly. They're looking for their actual live systems, because I can't attack it if I don't have live systems. And that's the first step in our hacking process.